Hello and welcome. This is Arunfoot Chaudhary. You are live on my YouTube channel, arunfoot. It is Monday, the 31st of March, 2025. It's the last day of the first quarter of 2025. It's also the last day of the financial year. So, yeah, I thought before I leave India tomorrow morning to head back to Germany, I thought I'd try and do a quick I'll try 1 hour live, catch up with you on what has happened over the weekend in Indian football. A lot to talk about. A lot of things have happened, good, bad, the ugly. But at the end of the day, let's speak about those things. Good evening, here on Rare. What a game between Jamshedpur FC and Northeast United. So yes, second semi-final was a lot closer than the first one. And of course, again, once more, the scandal surrounding the Churchill Brothers versus Interkashi game. It is incredible how people are trying to justify a handball goal. We still haven't understood how people should need to do that. But again, they're doing it. But that's the reality of what it is. And where does Indian football stand at this moment with all the general stuff that's happening? I would not be able to tell you, to be honest. Northeast United was quite unlucky. Here and there, I think they have to ask themselves the question, is Shillong an unlucky ground for Northeast United? I think Northeast United, without playing in Shillong, most probably would have finished third, maybe even more. And this was the third loss out of 4 games for Northeast United. They only had a win against East Bengal FC, but East Bengal feared, of course, because that was the match, an unimportant match in the ISL, in between their AFC competition, AFC Challenge League matches. Therefore, that's something what happens. It seems like Churchill Brothers will qualify for ISL. I would not bet on anyone qualifying or not qualifying. This league is crazy. I don't know if you've seen the statement, let's see. So let's see what happens. But again, 4 teams in the running. Sunday, Super Sunday in the I-League. Let's see what they do, and therefore interested to see. Let's see what happens. Satyam says, Koro is getting into Danish League. He's 17 Indian active player. He's developed in Danish League. He will be next star of India. More big than Kshetriya's Europe League, give you experience. Satyam, don't take it as if it's a done deal. Someone has put out that information that supposedly Brøndby AIFF, the Danish Giants, are interested in the player. And I am not sure how much truth is in that story. Again, I don't want to burst that bubble, but I have not got any confirmation on the same. So therefore, I can't tell you that it could, it would, it should happen. Therefore, let's wait and see. If he gets that opportunity, it would be great. As always, I'm very, very careful with all these kind of rumors. It would be interesting to find out who got to know about him. To me, doesn't, at the moment, it does not make sense to me having seen him in the ISL. Don't you think we should target smaller European nations who are easier league to get our young players into for futures? Many European nations, Germany, France, they are hard to get good new Indian footballers. Satyam, I think to me, very, very clearly, you're right, smaller leagues make sense. The question is, who would be interested in an Indian player? Who would be interested in Indian player or Indian players, to put it in plural? Because to me, that is, I think, the biggest challenge that we have in Indian football. talking about the quality in the ISL at the moment, talking about our players. It's a challenge, and therefore, let's wait and see if there's interest. And to answer Hannibal's question, is Kuro potentially possible? Is it that good enough? I don't think so. If you ask me, he would have to improve his level. He would have to get better. I honestly, it to me doesn't make sense because he's one of those weird players where, he's been scoring goals, he's been playing good overall, but it's not like he's there, right? To me, that is something which I felt. I might be wrong. I don't know, as I say, but he's done very well for himself. But is he good enough to play in the Danish Superliga? I don't think so. So have you seen Igor Stimac interview with Race Sports channel? Bilas, I did. And yeah, Igor is trying to sell certain things as if he found out. Again, PIO is something that I've been fighting for since 2001. Other topics as well. Yeah, he wants to stay relevant in the market. That's all. Again, did he get and let's see. Is the Kuru story even real or just to decrease market value? Pranjal, if you ask me that way directly, it's more about market value, I guess. Brandon Chunked is suddenly match fit for City. Rishikesh, if you saw the match on Saturday, were they suddenly match fit? I don't think they were suddenly match fit. Were they really match fit? I don't think so. Chunkte was taken off relatively easy. So therefore, they did play, but were they match fit? Nah, not at all. Igor said our main priority should be developing Indian players rather than bringing dead foreign players in ISL. I don't think that was the main message. The main message was, I gave them ideas, I did this, I did that, and blah, blah, blah. And the AIFF didn't do it. That was his main message. And to me, again, he's failed. He's not done what he needed to do. I mean, he said in that interview, India played great in those 3 matches in the 2022 for 2023 AFC Asian Cup qualifiers. I watched the Hong Kong match. Yes, we did win 4-0. Did we play great football? No, it is like the SAF Cup. So again, sir, please, I am not harsh, but it's history. Indian players got such big offers, but they rejected because of money. And I own a club and I visit Belgium. The club's watching you 17 ISL talents. Satyam, no Indian players got a big offer. I don't know where you have that info from. No Indian player has big offers. If an Indian player has any offer at all, and I'm one of the few people who have made it possible for Indian players to get trials and training stints in Europe, they are not watching the talent. If people are telling you that, they're being nice, knowing that, no. Stimac is like a big mouth since he left India. Yeah, very right, Gurundre. Maybe if Kuru gets offered, then will Karavasa say let him go? Hannibal, in theory, yes, but let that offer seriously come in, and then let's then evaluate what happens. Hi, Blue, welcome back. Do you think foreign players are occupying key positions in ASL caused hurdles to find strikers? It takes time. Murali, foreigners have been playing in key positions in Indian football since I can think. Right? So this is not a new phenomenon since a few years or through the ISL. Striking positions have been a thing for Nigerians and Brazilians and then players from all over the world. So therefore, for me, that should not be even a discussion, right? It is something which is in some sort of form way should be, is not should be, but is normal. And so therefore, our players need to be better than the fellow teammates that they have. And that is the challenge. Thoughts on both the playoffs? Blue, I watched Saturday evening with the Mumbai City FC fans. Depressing. But with that squad, with those injuries, I think Mumbai City at least had 4 players who were not fully fit. on the field, which speaks about the bench. Referees' decisions, also part and parcel. I don't know if the referee decides things rightly, what happens. And yeah, that's the reality. Ravi Shankar says, with I-League pathetic organizing, it's been 18 years depression of Indian football for me. Started watching around 2007, 2008. Yeah, that's it, football. Another Cyrus Abhilash to Brighton type of rumor, I think. Hannibal could be the case. What's up, Akash? Good to see you back. Do you think Suresh needs to try abroad because the fighting will get unbelievable? Yeah, but who will take him? You know, morally, it's easy to say, but I don't know. So, but I don't think Igor somewhat said the harsh truth that even Pep Guardiola can do little with the present Indian squad. Vilas, to me, he's destroyed the squad. If there is someone, if there's one individual who's destroyed the Indian national team over the last 5-6 years, it has been Igor Stimac. So can Guardiola do something with it? Most probably, a good coach gets 5-10% extra out of a team. He got 50% minus out of this team. So therefore, what he said is not harsh truth. It's BS, because he said something, which makes no sense. That those facts were known. If you did not believe in your team, why didn't you leave earlier? No one forced you to stay. You said, if I don't qualify for the World Cup, third round of the qualifiers, I will go. He didn't go. All of his facts were lies. Now he's trying to stay relevant in an Indian market where I don't know why Boria even gave him the platform. Why are you giving someone like that a platform? That would be my question. But again, this is Indian journalism. This is how people like content creators run around, get these statements from these people who shouldn't be getting a voice in Indian football. So I was wondering, why can't merge Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka league into ISL, like how Premier League is combined League of Wales, UK, Scotland, Ireland? Would it have any benefit? Utsav, first of all, the Premier League is the country of England. UK or Great Britain is that conglomerate. The Scottish League is an own league. The Ireland League is an own league. Even in Wales, you have an own league. Only Cardiff City, Swansea City, and Wrexham play in the English pyramid. So what's the value for India of involving those leagues into the ISL? I don't think and those leagues themselves are too small. Singapore is going to play against Argentina and Russia. Okay, Rishikesh. Can we say Manolo made error team selection expecting to play well, or no option left? He made errors left, right, and center in the selection, and again afterwards it's easier to say, and also with his tactics. Northeast United FC lost because of overconfident, and German was outclassed Northeast. Okay, on off. Without TD, Mumbai City FC defense crumbled in most of the games. Chroma isn't reliable, to be honest. Yeah, Chroma was better last season. Yeah. I-League becomes super crazy. This is why we need promotion integration ISL. The fights become so intense. Akash, the ISL is a joke of what's been happening over the last 10 days, right? This would not, if certain right decisions were taken, we would not be in the situation we are in. And it seems like it's doctored. That is the question that should be asked to the AIFF, what's been happening over the last few weeks. Suresh to Bangladesh Premier League, says Hannibal. Kuru to National League, Arnav. I've not heard anything so far. Cersei, small European nations don't have big players, as most get into big European nations and they pick Asian, then yes, Japan, Korean, first choice, but they also pick Indian, also like Changte ones. Satyam, Changte went to Norway because I and a friends made it possible for Changte to go to Viking Stavanger. So no one is picking an Indian player. It was, we had to really work with them, work on them to convince them and say, guys, why don't you take Lalinzola Changte and try him out and see if he fits into your system? It's not, no one is waiting for Indian football. If you think that, and therefore to me makes no sense. When you say Igor destroyed Indian football in terms of results, or never kept promise? Both. Murali, both. Hi, Welzian. Thought tough day for Mumbai Citizens and heartbreak for Northeast United. Spicy Ali much. What a weekend. Yeah, it was. Nepal Super League is free on YouTube. Broadcasting quality is quite similar to ISL. Okay, Akash. Do you think bed treatment will get something good out of national team? Hannibal, those days are gone. Those days are gone. You have to get the players in other ways. Those belt treatment is, even people thinking about it, is a disaster. And again, yeah, Igor is a nationalist for India, but he's also demanded more money from AIFF. As he got kicked by AIFF, he is moneyist, and also he's not made big strikers, and he can make big players get into Croatian leagues. Okay, so that it's a problem, right? You can't be, this is to me like pseudo nationalism from a foreigner, right? If he, knew what the situation with the AFF, he knew what the situation on the financial front is. Did he reduce his contract? He's increased his contract every time he's extended. So he's not nationalist. Come on. I think Manolo can get his things fixed in SAF Championship. Let's see Hannibal. Did any Indian origin player played in FIFA? How many Bangladeshis played top apart from Hamza? Yeah, there've been multiple players in the FIFA World Cup. Vikas Doga, So, Aaron Winter, just directly come top of my head. In Bangladeshis, I don't know. That I think smaller pitch favors the side that plays pragmatic football. I guess that's where Northeast United is struggling at Shillong. Could be. Nothing been done by major stakeholders have been seeing the same spiral for a 2 decade of nonsense. It's funny that regular playing time is available at village level. Everybody can see what is okay, Anand. So Wales has its own League Two, or Wales clubs are allowed to play an English system? Wales has its league, its own league, some Camru, I don't know, I think it's called. And on the other side, there are certain Welsh clubs, as I said, Cardiff City, Swansea City, and Wrexham. Those three come to mind. I think Newport is another one. I think those four, they play in the English Pyramid. So and all the other Welsh clubs play in the Welsh system as such. If a player approach you to play abroad, what are your terms and conditions? Murali, I have been approached by a couple of 2-3 players in the last few weeks, and at the moment, I don't have any terms and conditions. It's just that the reality check of what they think, it's unrealistic. AFF wants to run own top league. They can't run fish market, says Prunjal. Igor's interview and Constantine's interview, if you just hear, both Constantine told what he did and advised, but Igor just blamed, shows the difference. Yeah, Blue. So what's a coaching issue? Is it the coach education programs issue, or the coaches trying to improve their skill sets? Rendell, it's a combination of both. Sometimes it's the system, sometimes it's the individual, sometimes it's both. That's, as I say, we need to work on grassroots, we need to work on youth development, on our coaching, on our competitions, and our scouting. Those are the basic things that we need to work on. Sir, but what can a coach do if you have below average player in whole ISL? Coach can give you tactics, Max, but he can't prevent blunders of players like Keith and Chetri in Bangladeshi match. Bilas, pick the right people. If Vishal Keith is making those mistakes, as I said, I don't think he's an Indian national team goalkeeper. But I meant Belgium clubs like Belgium and Belgium Juniors, IFC and Christian, good Belgium clubs who met them in 20. They love Indian football talent, especially Northeast. They mentioned Manipur. Satyam, have they signed anyone ever? I don't even know which clubs you're talking about, right? And those clubs are most probably too small to be able to sign Indian players. Boldala Bol said that even when we lost 2019 AFC Asian Cup against UAE, the way we played, opponents coach said you played well, losing part of game, but in which, yeah, Murali, I was there. We were better against UAE in the first half now. Should have been leading 2-0, we didn't. Hello, Dada, do you think it's true about Koro Bhaskar? I've not heard anything so far, so I don't know. Kalyan Chobe has said about making list of players. What happened to that scheme? Anand, I put a list together and I think certain people took it to the AIFF, but nothing has happened. Do you think Market News is trustworthy? Angry Birds, I don't know them, so therefore, again, and I've not heard anything in Europe. I mean, I would get to know from someone or the other in the circuit that that a club here or there is looking at Indian players, and I've not heard anything about an Indian player being looked at. So therefore, I can't tell you if it's true or not. As far as I know, it is not true. Sir, tomorrow new constitution is coming. No, Mayank, it's earliest coming on the 2nd or 3rd, So therefore, any positive news the 2nd, I have no clue. If you see the things that are coming out at the moment, I'm very, very worried. What was the role of Mr. Agarwal of Delhi Dynamos left Indian football scene? Mr. Agarwal was an advisor to them, and I haven't heard anything from him in a while, to be very, very honest. I think getting playing in Europe pitches gives you big player training and main thing confidence that you can be big player. I think our main thing out there that when it should be get into Europe. But Satyam, again, nice thought. Yeah, go here, go there. But if our players at the moment are not at a level where we are say, you know what, someone is waiting for us to take on Indian players. Do you see negligence from Indian football only bring big player from about 4 years youth level? Who cares? See, Murali, are we really bringing big players? I mean, I was talking to someone at the Global Institute of Sports Business today, actually, Gaurav Modwell, who used to run Pune City at the time when the ISL started. We were colleagues at the time. And, we had superstars over there, right? I mean, they had a player like Trezeguet, we had Anelka, we had Ljungberg. Those were superstars. At the moment, you bring in good foreigners, better foreigners, but not big names. Yeah, but those are small Belgian clubs. But sir, we have to do something because if we don't, who will for India? And yes, OCS also, but you've seen the defeating big teams. Satyam, those small Belgian clubs are not in a position to sign Indian players also. If they're amateur clubs, which I think they are, they're not allowed to sign players from outside the EU. Which is favorite in football? Content creators for me, Ashish Negi, 420 grams. Okay, Murali, good to hear. So it's true the FSL doesn't want promotion relegation if FA wants to renew ISL contract. What's up? I don't think that conversation is even happening. People, what I understand here in Mumbai, people are spreading information or thoughts that they have. I think nobody knows from all these people that what's actually happening. Nobody knows. So is it realistic dream for India to participate in FIFA World Cup in the next 20 years apart from hosting event? Ganesh, 20 years is a long time window, but if we do the right things in Indian football, if we push for the right things to happen in Indian football, why not? Right? I would say why not? But that is a challenge because we have to do the right things in Indian football to be able to push for playing in a FIFA World Cup. We have Bangladesh quality player with little confidence, says Hannibal. Do you have any insider news about AIFF ever still? Akash, I've heard a few things, nothing confirmed. So therefore, I'm not going to join the, rumor bandwagon. What's the Chakte podcast? But you never, and reason, simply time. So what do you think of the new AIFF draft constitution? Will things be better off than now if it is implemented? What's your take? It's going to make matters worse. I don't think if there's one learning, if there's one big learning from the current AIFF, there's one thing that the AIFF executive committee needs to be filled with people who can influence things in a proper way. Yeah. And to me, very, very clearly, having 5 ex-players is a nice thing to have to reduce the exco as such. But the five players need to be able to understand things and to influence things. So therefore, for me, that is a problem of the executive committee that they're proposing, and therefore it doesn't work. I think best inspiration team we should follow is Vietnam. Indonesia, they made a separate policy only for their OCI only, and Indonesia also like India government, but Indonesia Federation done it by own. Who says the Indonesian government is not? Indonesia government is supporting it, Satyam. How do you become good in difference between football development and BS as fans? We fall trap. How to Murali, most of it is sadly, as you call it, BS, and so yeah, you have to read through it. It's like this guru thing. To me, I'm skeptical about it before anyone serious puts out an info about it. By the way, about Churchill brothers at Inter-Kashi match, and Havas gave a statement, social media, your take on the last minute goal. It was handball, in my opinion, because ball touched hand before crossing goal line. Blue, and you summed it up. You summed it up, in my opinion. Anyone defending that situation, I don't know if that person understands football, because you clearly see that the way the ball comes back and then hits, I'm not 100% sure which part of the arm. That's handball, and the ball cannot have crossed the lines. Actually, from grassroots, our players don't get right education from coaches on how to manage the press by opponent team. They're just told to just release long balls as if it is bomb. Okay, Bilas. Not everywhere, right? So yeah, but I think we have talent. We have almost defeated Qatar, but got dropped, or we beat them. We go with by 2-1. Which you can pick on players. Also, think is time to Satyam, at the moment, we're nowhere near. You said accommodation will be given an apartment and club goes in financial loss. And yes, this happened in Europe. When did I say that? I don't remember when. What context? Vidya has settled when the deal between FSL will be done, or any other confirmation decision we will get from AIFF is going to play till summer window. Vidya, at the moment there is no deal. So if we're seeing the writing on the wall is 12th of April, last match of the RSL. That's the status at the moment as we stand in, right? There is no deal at the moment. You've seen the AIFF has put out a counter deal, which seems to come from the I-League, which is utterly ridiculous in my opinion. But anyway, they put out something, right? Do you consider yourself for AIFF president? No, I don't. I-League backstories are more interesting. ISL on-pitch entertainment, RMF, but it's very, yeah. 420 Grams channel presenter Arjun played with Chetri in his early days in Delhi. He was mad about football since childhood, but he doesn't hype the things like other so-called YouTubers. See, I know Arjun from the time he entered the media space. He was a presenter on Z Sports. I remember his first tournament was the Federation Cup in Kolkata, I think 2007 or 2008. And good guy, understands his sports, and and calls a spade a spade. Can AIFF speed run the process of the Inter-Kashi verdict? Sterling, 72, this is very, very easy. You can't appeal the appeal. So the second judgment is, I don't know how they got into that. So therefore, for me, very, very simple. I would say they take it back and Inter-Kashi get the 3 points back. That's very, very simple. Indian club system starts with Mohun Bagan, ends with Mohun Bagan. Nothing fruitful close ISL. I don't think it starts and ends with Mohun Bagan. ISL prediction, Sterling 72. We've got 4 teams in the semis. We'll have some upsets. Let's see what happens. I think as an own club, University Nagpur also don't get big time any support from Maharashtra Association. They also said that AIFF is not doing anything. Then what they can do as AIFF don't give funds. Satyam, the job of the AIFF is not to provide funds to others. the state associations, the clubs, everyone needs to fend for themselves. Everybody expects the AIFF to do everything for you. That's not the job of the AIFF. The AIFF job is try to manage, organize, structure Indian football overall, right? So therefore, yeah. So that's the thing. If the Maharashtra association, if WIFA, or if your district association in Nagpur is not helping you, it is on you yourself to generate those funds, right? Right. More than 31 minutes already. 37 of you watching this on this Monday night. If you haven't, do leave a like, do leave a share behind. If you're liking the content, spread it with other people, share it with other people. 14 likes so far. Thanks a lot. And if you haven't, if you're new to the channel, you're liking discussion, do leave a subscription. Right, we're at 2,468, so we're slowly closing in on the 2,500 mark. What's going on with the under 17? We got great results in Spain. Sterling, nothing. Some of them are in the under 20s. Most of them, I guess, are playing, RFDL. What if AIFF hired B licensed coach for national team? Then they could have bought a more expensive car than. See, Bhaskar, this car incidents, and this is where I think that's again proves a point. Sorry to say that to those who think it's not, AIFF shouldn't be buying a car for that price, whatever it was. I don't even think it was 40, it was less, whatever. Anyway, the AIFF needs a representative car, right? And they have guests from FIFA, from AFC, this, that, everything coming in, going out. They have to spend on that. Is it now the timing right? We can discuss that. Most probably it's wrong. But a representative car should be in. Can we say Constantine played fire in AFC Asian Cup 2019? Even we lost a few matches, but it was close margin. We did not get thrashed like AFC and they got. Yeah. Is VR light not a possibility in ISL and expensive? Bring foreign referees won't improve our own cause. Methamphetamine too expensive, and VR light is not an option given the vast size of the country, and then have to create it across the country. So under the guidelines of existing FIFA rules for allowing Indian origin players in national team, can Indian government allow them to playing for country? Yes, Ganesh. It's on the government to make adjustments. My person of Indian origin card in 2006 had gone to FIFA, and in theory they said yes, Ranava Chaudhary could potentially play for India. Again, it was just a test case. It wasn't about me playing for India, but theoretically that was a proof. The passion from Churchill Brothers fans was amazing. We need clubs like them in top flight. Sterling 72, wasn't bad. If Supreme get to launch election after then Kalyan will stay or not, please tell. And who can be next president of Kalyan, because who can take football, big issues like we're saying grassroots takes it. Satyam, I don't know what's going to happen. Let the Supreme Court take its decision. I fear FIFA steps in. We've got another ban coming, and then we've got bigger problems. Is any instance court interference happened in other parts of the world? What about Africa? Morally, it's happened everywhere and around the world. And then, or they tried. Good example was, I think, a few months ago in Brazil, where the president or the federation was removed, and then the government stepped in, told the courts, walked back, and then it was stopped. Which SAF team do you think will reach Asia Cup? Poor Richard. Most probably none. Sir, my sister's daughter currently playing in an academy in Japan. Previously was playing in Bengaluru with Kemp FC. Now they're coming back to India. What do you suggest? Should you keep playing outside? I don't know what her standard is. I don't know how old she is. I think everything is an individual assessment. If she can stay abroad, of course. If she's playing in Japan, she should be better than the girls in India, right? So therefore, whatever experience you can get. But yeah, if I don't know the person, difficult to give an advice. The way Indian players handle their first touch and deal with pressure is nowhere near the level of players from Japan, Korea, or European countries. Yeah, very, very true. How can we get Indian strikers to get more game time? Sterling, they need to be better than the others. Very, very simple, actually. Hi, Kumar. I watched so many matches of Nopang League live and recorded matches. I'm an amateur to judge the quality, but what's your take on conclusion of Nopang League U12 and U14 matches? The final judgment of quality of the boys of Nepal is time when they reach the national team in Jamshedpur if they're better than current players. Kumar, I've not seen any of the matches recently. I've seen some highlights in the past, so therefore it looks good, but I don't know what the quality really is. It's difficult, and again, watching it on telly is not a judgment for me. Chetri's celebration after long goal for BFC is what we need from him against Bangladesh. Why they don't have nationalism like cricket and other sports, Mahesh's exception. I think he never got in the situation. You saw him celebrate against Maldives, but against Bangladesh, he wasn't good enough. How is India rated in beach soccer in indoor futsal comparison to 11-a-side soccer? We've started both recently. I think we're not rated very highly. What made you support Indian football? Yes, you're willing to help, but at some point, success needs an instance. A German friend said, why are you supporting Indian football despite not success? It's something which I've done, which I will do. So my German friends don't have a problem. Do you think Changte and Brandon were injured to play for the country but fit enough to start for Mumbai City? Sterling, to me, Changte was injured before the tour. Brandon injured himself in the Maldives game. So I think there is no question about it. And they tried to get them fit. And if you look at the way they played, I don't think they were fit, right? So, yeah. Years before, Z Sports used to telecast I-League and info matches, and now nothing has improved. I think the broadcast is much, much better. Do you think the 55 OCI PAO list is just eyewash with nothing happening? Arijit, there's not even a 55 list. I don't even know who's put that out into the world that there is a list of 55. There's a list of 28 max. What do you think of Super League concept like Nagaland, Gujarat, Kerala? Deepak, Super Leagues are not going to help us in that way in local leagues. I think it's a myth that we have. Certain people are thinking about it. I would say in Nagaland and Gujarat, it's a little different because there you don't have leagues, so it just makes interest grow. But in a Kerala Super League, we've got the Kerala Premier League built up with that. Any instance, what happened in FIFA, Murali? Yeah. I don't have any guns problem. Thing is why AIFF is not doing the work which Grey are supposed to do for their mate on funds is accused Southeast Asian also lack money more than us. Satyam, the Southeast Asian nations don't lack money in football at the moment, at least not. Having such old producer clubs in West Bengal like Mohun, Bagan, East Bengal, Mohun Sporting, etc., not producing a single national player is shameful. Yeah, Vilas, very, very right. Just wanted to say I love your work, honest to the point and just fun. Thank you, Sterling, 72. Without FSCL, how many foreigners would stay in India with that salary? Also, if clubs close, the player's contract will be invalid. Blue, if the ISL doesn't happen, if FSCL pulls out, I think there are 20 to 25 clubs who will shut shop across ISL, I-League, I-League 2. Yeah. So therefore, contracts, we don't need to talk about contracts. Why do Indian players, if despite having proper training, nutrition, and diet, why are Indian players still more slightly built compared to players from other countries? Good question, Rick. I wouldn't have an answer to that. I don't know if that's if there's a biological reason to it or something, but I don't have an answer to that. Brazil Federation chief is run by ex-army chief, and when they lost to Argentina recently, they sacked the coach. The federation was run by ex-army personnel, many army generals, etc. Okay, Satyam, I don't know if that's true. Is there any path of OCI playing for India without giving them dual citizenship, of course, with government permission? Pilas, at the moment, it takes you a minimum of 5 years to get an Indian passport. And you have to stay in India for those 5 years. And if you're outside of the country, it takes you even longer. So these are sort of basic problems I would think that we would have to overcome if we want to get players of origin to play for us. And at this moment in time, I'm not seeing those solutions in place that we can fast track. Dada, what if FSL allow clubs to sign 2 OCI card holders outside salary cap and foreign limit? Can the clubs influence to fast track this OCI passport issue if they want full citizenship? No. It was done in the past. We had that in the I-League, I think 205, 206, and no. Are state FAs under the AIFF because they're not being penalized for not holding state leagues and youth football tournaments? And if not, then have them made those changes in the new constitution. Billabong, Ping pong, there is no change in the constitution on that. Again, you've got the pyramid structure where you have districts feeding into state, state into national, national into continental, and then continental into the global body. Can you give clarity on UFC club slots for which competitions? At the moment, it's 1+1. It's one slot, in the AFC Champions League 2 group stage, and there's one spot in the AFC Champions League stage. Ranjit Bajaj is one of the person I want in AIFF presence. He's just execution man, then talker. Tell UFC will never say gave us one of the best players like Anwali, Rahul Bek, etc. JJ also agree. First of all, Satyam, JJ was never a Minerva player. JJ has come through Pune FC. Rahul Beke has come through the Mumbai system and East Bengal, so it's not his players. And please, this is not a suggestion that you seriously mean. So Stimac in recent interviews said that we must either decrease the number of foreign players in ISL or play I-League without any foreign players. What do you think of the statement? Tobo, we are having an I-League 2 without foreigners. Look at the quality of football over there. This is populism and this is useless. Local leagues, I think, will help popularize futsal. Arijit, could be, could not be, not sure. Super League is similar, like painkiller injection works for what, never going to improve the overall quality of pain. Okay, interesting comparison. Here's some rumor. Church about the official president AIFF decision bench for deciding Interkashi and Namdari match one. If it's true, isn't it creates a conflict of interest? SCT, there are people trying to influence this whole thing, and it's a problem. Can FSL put a strict salary cap on the players below age of 26 as legal? Because the least we can do is to encourage youngsters to play outside and then come to India. No, ping pong, nice idea, but I don't think it's implementable. Do you think moving the verdict of Kashi post the season and gives the AIFF a chance for a backdoor bidding war beside the winners? No, I think it shows you that anyone is saying that Kashi is taking an advantage from the AIFF is, yeah. India legends versus Brazil legends most looked relatively fit, played entertainingly too. Okay, Origin didn't see it, so I can't say. Another, what's your take on crying Indian players when they're playing for club and not for national football when they have same passion and dedication Mumbai City FC played was maybe offensive. Kumar, to me, I don't know what the problem is, because if you look at the whole Mumbai City FC bench of the players, they were hoping that something better could be happening. You saw Vikram as well. I felt the same way. For country, you want us to cry because we draw Bangladesh, right? And therefore, I don't know, this conversation is one of we have other problems. If these would be our real problems in Indian football, we wouldn't have problems. And when we have so many problems that we are adding problems into issue, and we're not discussing the things that we need to discuss. Rajasthan State League calendar announced. Okay, Deepak. Why AIFF don't voice this issue with Sports Minister and Home Minister about specially provision for, say, if they voice up and action not taken, then we can say government is wrong, but until then raise this. Satyam, it has been raised. I have personally raised it with the government of India multiple times over the last 24 years. And with the AIFF and via the AIFF. So it has nothing happened. The government is not interested. It doesn't matter who is in the government. They have not been moving on this matter. Mumbai played terrible. Deputy Kati played trunked in different position. Mumbai played, didn't play well. No equation. And it sums up that match sort of sums up the season. Also, key decisions go against you, but when you lose 5-0, you shouldn't be talking about them, but that is something that needs to be talked about. Sir, up to 1980, Indian football was doing well. It seems gradually a downfall of the game. Could see then what went wrong then. Can't we blame upsurge of cricket now? Ganesh, I don't think we were as good as we thought we were. I think that the more and more nations came in and played football, we became poorer and we got exposed. That is what's happened to Indian football, sadly, and it's again, I wouldn't even go into the 80s. I would say, from the late 60s, early 70s, most probably we lost out to the others, and it hasn't helped Indian football over the long term. Can OC teams like Fiji, Solomon Island recruit Indian players? Surely the league can't be better than IC, right? Why would an Indian footballer go to Fiji or to Solomon Islands, Orijit? I don't get that idea. First of all, you wouldn't earn the money over there, so that's your first problem. And if you look at Fiji, for example, the Fiji captain Roy Krishna has been playing in India over the last few years. There is no way to fast track our progress apart from OCIPAO unless national team shows performance. Nothing is going to move forward. Yeah, Moina, that's a very important point, but no one wants to. Yeah. Reliance Foundation League giving me happiness, 1 versus 1 shooting, dribbling. This gives me hope. And many Reliance Foundation players got into my academy and they got developed by Reliance Foundation. Okay. Do you think Route 1 football tactics is the reason why Jamshedpur sees success this season? Also, Prona is back with a bang. Ishan, very simple. There are 2 key players in that team who make a difference. Take them out, this team is worthless. Javi Hernandez and Steven Eze. And especially Steven Eze, when he was out, they conceded in 2 matches 10 goals. So therefore, very, very simple. And these are the kind of teams where I think you don't need to do much as coach. You allow those 2 guys to run the team, organize the structure, it, and done. Ranjit is claims that was the academy problem playing even a full year. Yeah, that's just one of the many things. Yeah, as well. Viviano scored a beautiful goal. Brazil legend sets Monok. Yeah, saw it on highlights. Did you see the Stimac interview? What do you make of it? What are your views on his coaching in general? Coaching is a disaster, first of all, and wants to stay relevant. India, Argentina would be great, says Orijit. I feel so hopeless by looking at the future of Indian football. Yeah, let's see. Would you consider taking up a role CEO of a new club based in Goa? Why not? I would listen to things, so therefore, never say never. CCC from Kolkata is a good team. Which division do they play? Never seen them in any CFL matches. Orijit, CCFC is CFC, so Calcutta Football Club. And I don't know where they're playing. First division, second division, not sure. Or now, do you have any news about the junior after the squad overhaul or anything like that next year for Mumbai City? Nothing as such. Beneath says also Indian football so boring to watch now. Okay. Ishan says Juan's tactics were very predictable, I think, against Jamshedpur FC, over reliance on Ajare and trying to score off crosses, which is shot against a tall defense line like that of Jamshedpur FC. Yeah. Jamshedpur FC has done something very simple. Focus on the basics, get Steven Eze or Javi Hernandez into dangerous positions, and they'll do something for you. What do you think is the best way forward for Indian club football? Poor Sterling. At the moment, I think nobody can say what is the best forward because it's I don't know what it is. It's something, but it's I can't explain what it is. It's a complete mess at the moment. This latest I-League fiasco probably a glimpse of what is to come in case AIFF gets to run top division football. Exactly, Ishan. It feels so hopeless by looking at the future of Indian football. Neither OCIs are coming, nor we can expect a win from these current players who are literally going nowhere. I hope not, but that's a danger. I can be childish, but without protests and big protests for Indian football, what government it can't be done unless we do like Bang, which I think only way to get OCI approval can sense this question. Something would be nice, but yeah, you or anyone else, please go ahead, do a protest. If they're going to do something, I'd be happy, very, very happy, but I don't know. One thing about Guru Singh I like is the shot power precision that he can generate. Others just shoot it outside the stadium. Okay, Angry Birds. Hi, Rushabh. Good to see you back. In fact, I would want Jamshedpur to go through as they promote most Indian local talent. Do you agree, Mohun Bagan? Don't promote local talents. How many local players have they promoted? I mean, I start a football academy, they used to do it generally, but yeah. Now, what do you have to say about Brandon and Chunk being fit for Mumbai City match when Brandon was stretchered off and Chunk was injured? They looked like they suffered no injury. They looked fit to you? Seriously? They were not fit to play. They were, either playing with injections or with painkillers. They were not fit. But they, wanted to play most probably. And look at the performance from both of them. They were not fit to play. Any particular Indian player that has impressed you in these two knockout games? Not really. Hi, Trigger. Any semi-finals predictions? No. Let me sleep about it. But let's hope for some interesting games. Okay. Sorry. Uppala. What if Churchill Amma want you to take care of Churchill Brothers if they got the promotion? Palash, won't happen. Don't need to think about it. Don't bother about it. Meanwhile, beating Afghanistan now. Now they think India is now the weakest team in the South, pairing Bhutan and Nepal. Pakistan will grow. Nepal is a problem. What do you say? Let's see. At the moment, I don't bother about. Let them again. If another team beats another team, what is that implication for XYZ? Not something to think about. We'll see when these matches happen, who plays whom and how they play. I don't see this too much. What do you say? Blah blah blah. Don't bother about it. So, according to you, what would be the best financial model that could revive any football clubs like ONGC, Mumbai, CHL, so on that truly closed since past decade? You've mentioned 3 entities. I think ONGC and HAL will not come back. They are PSU teams. Mumbai FC is also gone because the corporate who run the club have shut down the club. So therefore, none of these clubs will come back. We need to generate money via television rights. That's the only way that money will trickle down the system. How good was Chetri's finish though? Class. I think we should try new strikers. I know we will starting matches or can win. Also, who knows? But I think we should get youngster strikers like David, I'm Irfan, Manvir, Nico, etc. Yeah, I wouldn't agree on that, Satyam. I think a national team is not something where you try out. So as of now, Churchill Brothers, Interkashi, Srini Deccan are fighting to get the promotion thanks to AIFF. Churchill Brothers, Interkashi, Gokulam, Kerala, and Royal Kashmir, not Srini Deccan. So let's see what happens. What do you think about the national team? Is this team really going to qualify for Asian Cup 2027, or is this the first time we won't qualify? We're just going to have to qualify 2 times. Jigger, Kratos, if I would know that, I would know more than most people. I hope we do. It's 1 round down, 5 more matches to go. All 4 teams on 1 point. Why not? So if this question is basically were your top 3 midfielders, for me, Zidane, Roy Keane in his prime when he was more than a defensive midfielder, and Clarence Seedorf. Oh, some enchilada. Who would I take? Who would be my midfielders? Yeah, Zidane would be part of it. Lothar Matthäus, I would certainly put it into that list. And who would be the third? Who would be the third? Xavi Hernandez. Don't Indian government get any information about sports which we are lacking? Don't they do anything for the development of that specific sport? Government should heavily spend on sports which we are lacking. You can ask, no, that's not how they operate. Then why did they make themselves available? They declare themselves injured or become injured only for important national team games. Fans are noticing concerning pattern here. XYZ, Brandon got injured in a game, right? And then you have a few days to recover. Did Brandon look to you that he was fully fit for Mumbai City on Saturday? I don't think so. They chant, they looked fit for you. They played for their team because they wanted to play for the club. Therefore, they made themselves available. Binit says, and also, in my opinion, OCI and PO is never going to happen because it's a long process and it needs approval on high level. Let's see what happens. Another Indonesian player is 17-year-olds also being monitored by FC Nederland, is playing in the Superliga Candid Football Conversations, which is 2 months old. Okay. Do you get why the government is against OCI? Any particular reasons? I thought it's the easy way to get into the good books of people. They can brag, they make the national team of different sports better. They don't bother with doing my summary. How do you rate BFC Indian backline? Okay. But they got tested. Mohammad Sanan looks like a future national team left winger to me. Hope this time around the U20 team can get some practice before qualifiers, at least one bloody friendly. Let's see, Rishabh. I saw him a couple of times live. Has to do quite a bit for that level. Should AIFF make all Indian players in the I-League? Trigger Kratos makes no sense. Your thoughts on Danish club Martin Kuru saying most probably no, he will reject after hearing his salary even if they loan him out. I don't think there's an offer on the table. XYZ. So after watching you, I think I have done a mistake by investing so much money into Canada, but I will invest until my last breath. But the problem is that state association don't do anything. See, if someone like you, Satyam, is doing this, great. I commend you, I laud you, great that you're doing this. But you need to know what's the end game. What are you doing this for? Why are you doing this? What are you getting out of this in regard to, are you producing better players? So therefore, spending is great, but spending it rightly, be it you or anybody else, is for me the most important thing. Why won't Indian strikers take a switch to I-League for playtime? That's a question to ask them. I think it's going to be one of the key money. What was the mood like when you were watching the Mumbai City FC game with Mumbai City FC fans? People were quite angry at the start after what Edgar Mendes did. To me, clear red card. You don't barge into that. You saw that Yelfanif had a concussion. Also, he played with an injury, and the penalty, right? So therefore, yeah. Let's say it this way nicely. I don't think I should say what the people were saying about the referee. And then afterwards, of course, it was disappointment, sarcasm. But again, a lot of people told me, you know what, this has been our season. And it was good to see those people there. But again, disappointed. I was very disappointed. I actually went out and took a long walk, half-an-hour walk after the game because it was just not good enough. Google did not see that coming. They were in the middle of the table a few match weeks ago. Yeah, Parash, that's the craziness of the I-League. Suddenly, no one was mentioning even them, and then suddenly sneaked in out of nowhere. Some people in the comment section don't even have the basic of how high the salary range is in the Danish Liga. I guess that's one thing, yeah. Any update on FSAFF? Generally, nothing at all. First game performance gives me no confidence in this team. Going away to Singapore and Hong Kong, do you think Manolo will make drastic changes or stick with the same in June qualifiers? XY said drastic changes. Who do you see as drastic changes? Weren't people shouting in regard to Vishal Keth? Right? Haven't I been saying Vishal Keth is not national team material? Right? We don't have 10,000 players as answers. I really want Gokulam, Kerala or Real Kashmir to progress, says Angry Birds. You forgot your favorite Schweinsteiger, yeah, and Basti as well, right? Very good. So you said national team is not to try out new players, so what can we do then if we don't give youngsters chance, or we cry like this? Satyam, you don't, if you have to have ready-made players in the national team. You can't say, listen, you know what, I've used the qualifiers now to test players. No, you have to have ready-made players to play for you. And the younger ones are not ready for international football. Now that ICE is no longer free to watch on TV, does that mean FSDL can make some money out of it? Oh, it is free on Geo Hotstar, right? Or am I wrong? Is this federation anything out to run football? Even Vietnam has progressed so much. Why don't they focus on youth Why they shut down Indian arrows? Good question. Because it was a product of the old dispensation, therefore the AIFF removed the Indian arrows program, right? So therefore that's one of the reasons why they said, you know what, we don't want this because it was created by the earlier AIFF, and that's a lot of things were changed. Was it right? Was it wrong? Was it needed? Can be questioned, right? By the way, the Indian narrative on OCI people is that OCI people card is a privilege. They say it's not people like Osok Swain makes you a question. The OCI card issue. It's not a privilege. I mean, I'm an OCI card holder. Why, if I feel like an Indian, then it should be my right to do that, right? And if people question things, then they should be questioning things, right? Is there any way to get in touch with you? Email, mail, etc. Sterling72, if you want to get in touch, info@arunfoot.com, info at my domain. That's the way to get in touch. I think the media were being too harsh on Chetan. I personally feel he was surprised to have so much space around him, having been marked so tightly throughout the game. Can happen to anyone. I think that's something. You're not going to score off every chance, right? And sometimes, as you say, sometimes you are surprised. Sometimes also he didn't have a good game, and if you had a game like against Mumbai City to score like he did that goal, who knows? I think government is not against OCA, but the reason is we don't have an aggressive leader in AIFF. Kalyan is a coward. That's why we need a leader, not a coward. Satyam, I've done this under Mr. Das Munshi. We've done that under Praful Patel. Nothing has happened. So it's not about the question. It's the government is not interested. Should we send our U20 team or rest regular players to South Championship of U20 for September? Maybe we can mix both U23 and non-regulars. Rishabh, I would agree with you. I would rather have an under 23 getting that exposure, but I don't know how the AIFF or Manolo Marquez sees it. Getting Indian citizenship is so tough. That's why no OCI player are going to come to India, because even if they come, they won't get citizenship in weeks. It takes so long. The process is so slow. Yeah, it is years. It is years, guys. It's so absurd that government gives less funds to sports which are not in top 8 in Asia, but it should be actually opposite. These sports need more funds than those sports that are actually thriving. Can be seen this way, can be seen that way. I think we should get Jay Shah into AIFF on the serious point. Why don't AIFF? Thanks about Jay Shah and BSB have big power in sports. You know what I'm saying? Like then, Satyam, they're not interested. It's not a problem of theirs. They don't need PIOs, OCIs. They will not talk in our names. Nice thought, but not going to happen. I-League 2 has no foreigners, but 4 Indian scorers have scored only 5 goals in 12 matches. They are the top scorers now. Not all of them are strikers. Again, Palash, that's the problem. We have a general problem in regard to producing strikers in even at the lower level, right? At the moment, it's a big struggle if you look at how things are in I-League 2, right? Oh, already over an hour, guys. If you're liking the conversation, if you're liking what we're talking about, do like, share, and subscribe. Arunfoot here on YouTube. 24 likes so far. Thank you very much, everybody. And 2,470 subscribers. Thanks a lot. So we're getting closer to the 2,500 mark. How do you see Edmund? Does he have the potential to be national team? Utsav, in theory, yes. But he has to do better. He has the potential. Yeah, that's the reality. Government doesn't like anyone exposing the special dose from outside, which says has done great efforts to mend relations and trade. You can't only blame ref. Players truly deserve win. Every team faced ref problems. SCT, again, if the first decision within the first 10 seconds is wrong, and you take out the most important man in that team, and that is Joel van Neef. Joel van Neef, not the same player. Then we don't need to talk about anything else. Everybody's faced ref problems, 100%. But I think and this is what I found very interesting. A lot of Mumbai City fans told me at that screening, you know what? It's not been talked about because we have not raised our voice as much as other teams. Those who've complained the most have actually had the least problems, and I agree with that because I've now seen live matches. I've seen it with people. You know, it is a problem. As I say, it is a problem generally, but it seems like Mumbai City was most probably one of the biggest sufferers this season from referee mistakes. Not the Blasters, not East Bengal. Vishal Kate looked shaky against Bangladesh team. Yes, Jen Joylin. Is Viona undertaking U20 or would we take charge of the 23s? He's supposedly taking the under 20s, not the under 23s. Hi, Roshan. Constantine told in an interview with Indian Food and Football that he brought the idea of an all-Indian team in I-League during his first tenure. Was Indian Arrows' idea? No. Indian Arrows was a different idea. That was it as a junior team that came from Bob Houghton. ISL is Geo Hotstar, but with subscription, though I think they're getting money through ISL, seeing the views. I thought Geo Hotstar is free, isn't it? I don't think there's any subscription. And if there is any subscription, there's production money of the broadcaster. So and that is not covered. So the broadcaster will take care of that first. Sri Lanka is using all origin players. In Bangladesh started bringing the origin players after bring Hamza. They're going to bring more players. It's going to be more hard to play Bangladesh in the home. Yeah. Driga, Kratos. Yes. Very, very true. So if someone says that we do not have good Indian strikers because clubs use foreign strikers, then where are the Indian strikers in I-League 2? Palash. Exactly my point. Very, very good point. To make it an all-Indian league makes no sense. First question is, you cannot get over your Indian habit. Not that I know of. When will you bring OCI players? Mohammed, I don't know. Do you think people like Ashok Swain, the teacher, forced their way into the Indian embassy, many anti-Indian government people abroad? Does people are hurting the council of genuine PR folk? I don't know the instance, therefore I can't judge it. Any instance speaking truth cost you the job? No, Morali. And if it did, I can go with my head held high, unlike other people. Media also don't give space to Indian football. You know that there are 10 sports channels in China which talk on every sports of China with football also, but here in India, media talks on Rahul Modi ji only. Oh, we have sports channels. Is getting citizenship other countries take this long? No, it doesn't. About Jamshedpur last night performance, can this gameplay help in versus Mohun Super Giant? Where is changes needed? Aman, it's good, but the question is to me that the individual brilliance, that Mohun Bagan has those players, has the quality in those players, which, Jamshedpur FC or other teams don't have. So therefore, that's going to be the test. That defense will be tested more than by Northeast United. So therefore, but it's now 2 matches. So to go to Jamshedpur is not easy. Let's see. Thanks, Blue. Yeah, guys, don't spam. I think what realistically I can do for is to plan a proposal to FIFA, let them know OCI is a strong document as it recognizes a person to be an Indian. It's useless for us to think government will help. Rushabh, that won't happen. And I'll tell you why. My PAO card went to FIFA in 2006. And they had a look at it. They thought it was okay, it was genuine. And they then said simply, adjust your nationality laws and regulations, which needed some sort of amendment, and that would have been enough. The cases of Navo says XYZ. We are seeing countries that are genuine no chance of development in football, like Sri Lanka, like Afghanistan, like Syria. Even those that were clearly behind us are ahead of us. Yeah, that's very true. How good player is Hamza? How good he was against the top team? Morali, he's a player between Premier League and Championship. He's a very good player, and he's played good matches against top teams. Do you think we should give you 17, 20, 23 matches playing with big teams if they play with big teams like ASEAN, which play with us very year in U20 we can get improve to grow our See, Satyam, we need exposure, and the exposure of these junior teams doesn't matter if it's in Asia, ASEAN, or anywhere in the world. The fans are seeing countries like Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, New Zealand winning games, progressing fast, whether through origin or grassroots. This makes them hate the national team. Yeah. Viviano to me seems like our own version of Gareth Southgate moving forward. Let's see. Rushabh. I don't know why Manolo not giving time to Irfan Yadwad, why it done wrong in national team. Don't know why he have only 20-25 minutes in this national window. Again, the coach saw him in training, you know. So therefore for me, yeah, it's the coach. When so-called expert talk our medal is low in Olympics, what players say provide us right infrastructure development process when you can think they have a point. Let's see, infrastructure to me is not the problem. We have countries around the world where the infrastructure is much worse than India and athletes are succeeding. I think coaching is the topic. No, JioStar isn't free. It's free for Jio SIM holders, free subscription given with recharge, and free for everyone with some hours. Okay. How do you see US football trajectory? Murali, looks to be good. They're hosting the World Cup. Let's see. Your thoughts on a women's Asian Cup qualifiers group? We have Thailand, Iraq, Mongolia to play real challenges. Thailand before that, I thought Thailand is doable, but they called 6 origin Thai players. XYZ, I think that is already lost before it started because Thailand not only has those 6 players, but they've had earlier some women coming. I think they will have more players of origin. I think, sir, admire you a lot. You're doing so much for Indian football, but do you think we need more passionate people who question Indian performance like you? 100%, Satya. We have too many people in Indian football who say something, who say, I care about India and Indian football, but factually don't do that. So that's I think Indian football's biggest problem at the moment, in my humble opinion. The quality of State League and I-League 2 division has drastically decreased because of no foreigners. Punjab, very, very right. And that's the question, how it will work together. There is AFC 20 Women's Asian Cup. Yes, there is, Saurabh. If India get 2036 Olympics, then there is any chance of hosting World Cup benches. Rathos, I would think yes. There will be a single round of qualifying to take place between 2nd, 10th of August 2025 with the draw scheduled on April 30th. Okay. I saw many guys are supporting OCI in the last few weeks who were against OCI before. At least good that they're realizing. I think, Bru, it was Hamza Chaudhary was a reality check, a brutal reality check. Right? Bangladesh were much better because that one player was part of the team. Very, very simple. You know, that boy came in and Bangladesh is no longer Bangladesh. Bangladesh looked like a much better team. You know? So therefore, for me, that's the reality. Why Indian players play football like 1800s? Look at two wingers, they only know pass, run, cross. They don't even try to dribble like step overs, any kind of modern football. Do you think it's lack of Mohammed? I sometimes feel they do certain things which are modern but don't make sense. So therefore, yeah. Do you think the women's team will beat Thailand at the moment, looking at the kind of origin players they're bringing in? No. Policy football need to keep separate, but when Qatar was the World Cup, they said human rights. How do you see this topic? Morally, there is politics in sports. Your thoughts on Joe Morrison? He always tweets whenever India plays a big qualifier game. He has been following India for over many years now, done many podcasts. Joe has had his share. Joe has had his time. Yeah. I think we should try young 11 in friendlies. Next striker, David Irfan, Ayush, Guru, Thapa, Sahal come back and they need to organize friendly. It's their problem now. They do it with good team. Yeah, but Sahal is not young. Thapa is not young. And the others you mentioned, again, Irfan I take out, but the others need time. Any changes notice India while arriving in sports compared to past? Your thoughts on sports science? Sports science has gotten much better over the last 15, 20 years. Much better. But sports, I think we talk a lot about sports in India these days and this and that and everything, but has it really developed? I think On the field, we have problems, but off the field, a lot of things have developed. Follow thinking about PO said players, nothing happens. And you remember Indian government is against Indian football in Asian games, even we are lost in quarterfinals with Saudi. Okay, Aman. How much would you rate Manisha Kalyan according to British in a league's top scorer table? Tried to verify it, but didn't find any legit source. See, Rishabh, Manisha is at the moment our best player, right? That's a fact. Is she? How good is she in European standard? There are many players who are going to be much, much better than Manisha Kalyan, no doubt about it. So therefore, is she the best South Asian player? I don't even know. I would Savitra Bhandari playing at Guingamp in France, I would rate her higher. So therefore, these are tricky questions. This government making joke how they allow PO say it's still a dream. Football is becoming worse. I'm thinking as my words. I hope not, but let's see. To me, the youth team from under 17 to 23 doesn't seem to have a huge gap between some of the stronger ones compared to senior national team. They usually don't spend much time with the coach. Okay. So will Chetri back again in June, or will he remain national team till we qualify like Manolo? Depends on him. It's very confusing. Why is it confusing? Sunil has not come back for one game. If it was for one game, he would have been announced. It's Sunil staying till the end of the campaign. Do you think certain player doesn't have good performance track record, but when it comes to big match, they deliver? Yeah, of course. There are players who deliver on big matches, and on the other side, there are players who don't deliver on big matches. So therefore, that's normal. Yeah, that's sports. That is sports for you, the way it is, right? Therefore, in some matches, players do, some don't. Government don't take football seriously. That's why Indian Olympic Committee also not given India a set to part of fans pressure they even afterwards, but until so don't in big like cricket, no. See, Satyam, and therefore I remember at the time 2023 for the Asian Games, I said this is not a battle that the Indian football fans should fight. Some channels show Manoj Kalyan meet government to talk about OCP if the business is true. No, it's not. There was no meeting. I did Sama Bandhari higher than Manisha from the gameplay personality shows we could last stuff. Yeah. Exactly, Roshan. She is that difference player. Manisha Kalyan is a good team player, but she's not the standout player. She's not the leader, right? So Savitra Pandari is on different level. Indian players never deliver on some matches. Yeah, consistency, XYZ, I've said that multiple times. Are players worse than San Marino players? I think our players are like to live in comfort zone. Their physical quality is enough, I say, but when it comes to level, it's not enough. Mohammed, I don't know if we are better or worse than San Marino. That's a big statement. I don't think that we are worse than San Marino, but we're not good at the moment. I think Mohun Bagan should announce whoever performs national team will get a big transfer offer from Mohun Bagan. Watch us beat everyone. I don't think so. There's a quality issue. This is nice gimmicks, nice ideas, but it's not about, it's not going to take Indian football forward. So therefore, for me, these things, you can talk about it, think about it, but yeah, for me, nice idea, but not going to happen. Rishabh, I've not heard anything on the Super Cup. I know that it's supposed to start, I think, on the 21st in Odisha and then going to be played quickly. I don't know more. New constitution, second OCI will discuss. The OCI topic has nothing to do with the constitution. Hope 2nd April game changer for an election. Get a new AIFF committee come with hope and improvements and vision, not in paper and reality, and decision comes by the way. I don't know if it's coming 2nd or 3rd. It was supposed to come on the 25th. It's been pushed forward. Let's see. Big match player number 1 Miloslav closer. That World Cup was crazy after barely being able to play for his club that season. Yeah. And now realistically someone will beat us like 1 or 2. We won't play them because we know and you know. I don't think we'll lose to San Marino, honestly. We're not good, but we're not that bad. Could we see a friendly game before Hong Kong in June? I don't know. Could be, but at the moment, I don't know. Sorry, let me have just quick some water. Sorry. Marcus will participate on the teams for Super Cup is not clear. Yeah, because the clubs want to plan, and there's no info on it. How do you see racism in general football? Do you think certain countries are not part of the crowd? Morally, racism by certain in general too complex at this time of night. On our market done, they should give bigger shares to club players, referees in AIFF's take. Okay, for what reason? Why? I'm not getting it. Let's have an unofficial friendly with Russia in the off season where we can field OCI players. I don't think no OCI player will play against Russia. You think a European or an American or a Canadian will play against Russia? No happening. Returning of Sunil is just PR stunts for the Indian players. Have no any mean for nation like players like Chandrasar, even for Koma, and give their best for club and money. Believe it if you think that is the truth. Again, there's a lot of narratives being played around Indian football, and I fear, guys, you're falling really for those narratives. Really be careful what you think. Rudra concerned, we need to find our way of making the opposition hard. We have players maybe in I-League, state leagues, just need to scout them and develop. Yeah, congratulations to that. Do you think that there's really a lack of zeal among the players who are playing for national team? It looks like it at the moment. Well, no, there's a feeling about it. Because, it's also the job. It was the job, or is the job of the national coach to make it a sort of a happy place. And I have a feeling some players are not happy to be in the national team, and that shows in their performances. Our team is not good, but our team is not as bad as they're playing at the moment. There is any way other than players get to listen what Kangan talk about what done me? No, there is no other way. Do you think PO will develop much better system compared? Of course, Murali. What kept you going with Indian football so long after everything wrong? Well, I'm someone who never gives up. And this is not an easy one, but I'll keep trying and let's see if we can improve it at some stage. If we are so big in one sport like cricket, which have so much money that can't be finished for 100 years, then why not they help in football? We need a Saudi standard stadium one at least, which costs 120 crore. So then why would cricket help another sport? What is in for them? They don't need to do that. They will not do it. Here, players don't want to go abroad to play, then nothing gonna happen. Okay. Jigar Kratos. I think now we should contact all the best players players in form, like a Brown Bowlers club where they display their performance against German lower level clubs. XYZ, who's gonna fund it? Nice idea. Someone needs to fund it. Give me the money, we'll put together a team, get an insurance, play somewhere. Why not? But no one's going to give you the money, and we're talking about big money to do something like that. Could you give us an idea on what you're working on currently in football? No, because I'm not working. I'm working on something in football, but not in India, so therefore I can't speak about it. Do you enjoy Cyber Hub? One thing like about and didn't like it. Yeah, I liked Cyber Hub. Yeah, it's good. I met friends. What kind of draw the Super Cup is? It's going to start at 21st. It's not out yet. Starts at 21st, ends at 26th. It's a kid tournament. I have no clue what it is. And it's not ending on the 26th. So, yeah. Forget everything. How are you doing? So now, sir. Thanks, Ashu. Little tired. And in 2-3 minutes, I'll end this live because I need to go to bed. I have to wake up early tomorrow morning. I have to catch a flight. I'm heading back to Germany. So, doing fine. But after 2 weeks on the road, happy tomorrow evening we'll be home. But it looks like now our Indian players proving this narrative wrong by the performances. Every game they're getting worse, running away cowardly in Afghanistan game, no acceptance. Yeah. Bangladesh giving rules to football players in certain conditions, even their population is not like up then like us. Why can't we do this type of thing to certain sports? Riga Kratos Bangladesh offers dual citizenship in general. So therefore that point doesn't per se work. Brother देखना मनवीर आशीष को खेलते देखना अब सब बोल उठेंगे nation versus club etc. narrative का चक्कर Ronaldo. Yeah, I know it's useless. I said clubs should send our young players to foreign clubs to boost their tactical ability. When you analyze the match between East Bengal and Turkmenistan club, you see they can play without foreigners. Mohammed, no one's going to take up young players, right? So all these ideas are nice. What made Suresh Apoya different person? If a certain time they brought certain spark in pitch. Yeah, can be. And now, to be honest, what alcohol is for others, for you is it's Indian football. Yeah, it's maybe that, or maybe it's kryptonite to some extent. So why you look so hopeless after watching you? It makes me more hopeless. I think this fight can't be over. If we lose hope, we all should be confident. Take inspiration from you and money. Always. Satyam, I have not lost hope. I just look at it and try to find means and ways of trying to change things. So therefore, let's see. Bangladesh is the threshold point to India qualify Asia Cup. Their lineup 2 or 3 OSAT players against India will never in Asia. Let's see, Shans. Hockey is few sports. Despite success, they still struggle for viewership. Yeah, that's the reality, Morali. Why sudden news comes that AIFF is in discussion that this OCI will come? We are seeking this possibility. The news came in 20 Sunday again 20. What kind of joke is this? Ask the president. Trust me, if the clubs don't want to take the initiative, nothing's going to ever change. And with respect, I might get a lot of stick, but East Bengal wants to at this point is irrelevant if India is so bad. Very good point. But who's going to answer that? So why don't you lobby for Indian football in Germany? Said not in big league, but in tier 3 leagues in Germany with Van easy. Because Satyam done that, no one's doing it. Does FSTL have criteria to only select players for national team from ISL, not I League? Ruturaj, FSTL has nothing to do with that decision making. That decision making is of the coach, and the coach has clearly said, he's talking about standards and levels. And I think I do fully agree with Manolo on that point, that the level of the I League, just watch it live. Don't watch it on television. Just watch the I League live and then come back to me and tell me that we come to a different conclusion. Good night, Sterling. Thanks that you enjoyed it. Come back soon. This is Khalid Jamila, and we're just living in it. Oh God, yeah. Do you think Miraj get recognition only through Olympic, rest of time forget? Of course, Murali, 100%. I hope everything will be fine alongside Indian football is one thing we can rely on. Yeah, Ashu, hope is one thing is left. And we'll have to hope for the best, right? I'm just going to leave this set of finding any hope in future. Totally fed up. See, at the moment, everybody's talking about it, and talking about it is nice, but people need to make a change and try to make a change, and that's really what I say. What is the key over here? We can talk about it all day long, but the changes need to happen. If India would have not conceded those 2 early mistakes by a goalkeeper, it would have been a good game. What's your take on this? Which 2 goals? Which match? Not that. Did I miss something? Sorry. Right. Nearly 1.5 hours. Guys, I need to go to sleep. Thanks again for joining in on this conversation about Indian football here on my channel, arunfoot. As I said, if you haven't, do leave a like, do leave a share behind as well. And if you're new to the channel, leave a subscription behind. Thank you all as always, for your support. And let's keep on growing the community. And as I said, tomorrow I'm on flight from India back to Germany, and try and do something on Wednesday. So therefore, stay safe, everybody, and I'll catch you soon. As also look at the other videos, and you're welcome, Roshan, and danke. Yeah, we'll be back on German soil tomorrow evening. So I'll catch you most probably on Wednesday night. Do watch also the other content on arunfoot. Watch my other social medias. Follow my other social medias, and I'll see you very soon. Good night, everyone.